All right? The chat. Let us know if it's working. It looks like it's working on my end, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I think we're good. I'm committed to that fact that we're good, Sean. There we go.
Yep. Now you turn the sound on. We're good to go. What's
All right.
happening, Ryan?
Welcome to the show. Yeah, crazy shit went down. I was about to tell you, Sean, how and shout out to the YouTube crowd. They might have to listen to the first 30 seconds of the show on the podcast. I was about to tell you weird shit happened, including my first half parlay, Sean. I gave you 5 money lines, three dogs, a tiny favorite, and a big favorite, all on the money line. Dogs all push, comically push, 10-10 ties. The Carolina Panthers, easy money, and the big favorite Baltimore Ravens, they shit the fucking bed. So that kind of summed up the day for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy, like I had the Chargers. They needed to cover an OT. Of course, they go for 2. They win outright. I needed the Ravens to go to OT to cover. They, of course, Doug Peterson goes for 2. They win outright. Don't go to OT. The one game I also needed to go to OT to get the cover was the Seahawks Raiders. But instead of winning with the touchdown, they let up an 86-yard running play to Josh Jacobs. That game was crazy. So yeah, it was a lot of weird beats like that.
Sean, just pause for a second because I don't know if you knew what I assumed you checked out of looking into the big boy at some point because you were pretty far out of it. You did manage to close and maybe a backdoor cover there at the end for you, but sitting on, I was literally down, Sean, like 1.6 points, I think, going to overtime. Jack Ryan, who shout out to Jack Ryan, he's in the Discord, winner of the big boy this week, aka Fight Club. He's sitting on no one. He's got no one. I got Gino and Ken Walker going to overtime. Sean, I'm down 1.6. I'm about to take down the 1200 and the week 12 Fight Club, and they score 0.2 points. That, I mean, you want to talk about an absolute dagger. And on top of that, I was going against Josh Jacobs in some big money stuff. Oh, just shout out to Scott Hansen because he summed it up today. At some point around probably 1 o'clock on the West Coast, maybe a little later, he goes, "Oh, I love football." Like he said that live on the Red Zone channel. It was just like, yes, Scott is all of us.
Oh yeah, and it was great. Scott Hansen apologized because apparently he told everyone to click over to their local CBS to check out the end of the Raiders Seattle game, but they weren't broadcasting that nationally. So he had a Twitter thread apologizing. It was pretty great. I know you trust me as a source of media. I would never do that to you guys. Scott, literally no one cares. I love how you think you're so important. They're like, oh my God, Scott told me it would be on CBS. He lied to me. Why do you lie to me, Scott?
It was
you're Scott.
It was a sleepy.
I love how he thinks like his attitude and takes on it. Like literally the Red Zone, they could not have a host and it would get the same ratings.
No, dude, he's a bus driver. Like you remember the experience when you have a great bus driver. He's a great bus driver.
You're crazy.
It doesn't mean that he's any different than maybe the next good bus driver, but he does a good job of holding that wheel for 6 hours. I mean, the witching hour bit, Sean, come on. You've come to love
what
that.
What is it? All it is a graphic and like some the witching hour. Where wins become losses and losses become wins.
We might need another show to unpack Sean's hatred for Scott Hansen. This is hot.
Scott Hansen loves him some Scott Hansen.
I was yeah, that's true. The wife was literally in the studio watching football, and we're watching. She's a Bucks fan, and I may have been quietly rooting for the Browns for financial purposes, and she's sitting here and she's like, man, this guy really he's really into football. I'm like, yeah, that's a guy who just loves football. So.
No, Scott Hansen doesn't love football. Scott Hansen loves Scott Hansen. Like if he got the opportunity to host a dog show that got slightly more ratings than the Red Zone, he'd be out of that chair so fast, and he would just be like, "These Pomeranians, they're beautiful. I love everything about them."
This is a take I didn't expect to be. I didn't expect.
He was maybe he was just annoying me because of the.
It's almost like he stole
the way the game shook out.
It's almost like he stole a job from you or something. There's some hatred here. We got to dig deep.
Ryan, we're burying the lead. We hit another first touchdown winner. That was nice bailout, hitting Kenny Gainwell 30-1. It was always going to be Kenny Gainwell. I gave out what else? Tyree Jackson and Zach Pascal. Gave out no Packers because I knew they weren't scoring first.
My angle was right. I gave out the running backs. Thought that would be the way to attack the old Phil. I think if you played AJ Dillon first touchdown for the Packers, you would have cashed that, which I gave. I mean, Sean, we're just back to being. I mean, might not be super red hot with the ATS picks, but exceptionally hot with the first. I mean, this run is absolutely crazy. And shout out to everyone.
Crazy.
And shout out to everyone who reached out to tell me how much we made their Thanksgiving weekend. This was the icing on top of the pumpkin pie, Sean.
The icing.
Yeah, whipped cream.
It's whipped cream. I know you don't celebrate the holiday, so you've never enjoyed a slice of pumpkin pie. But Ryan, we put whipped cream on it. But I appreciate it.
I don't want to. I won't
the
name.
Icing.
I won't. I won't name. I'm an apple pie guy. Come on, you know that.
But also another pie. Pies don't have icing, Ryan.
Yeah, I would never put icing on apple pie. That's disgusting. I won't disclose names because he asked to remain nameless, but he appreciated my take on Thanksgiving. Felt it was a underappreciated take and one that needed a little bit more light in the media, and he appreciated that.
Has to be cousin
that we talked about. Oh no, the Italians like the holiday. It's an eating holiday, Sean. So you got a underrated Italian holiday. But yeah, thanks for asking. The desert was fun. Enjoyed some, some Thanksgiving traditions of my own, including waking up, seeing tons of fucking stars, opening up my mind, solving some of the biggest problems at SGPN, which all of that accomplished. Unfortunately, the Giants lost. So,
all right. Let's get to the recap. Before we do, cue the music, Ryan.
You're gonna have to help me out with this one.
Top left.
There we go. What? Oh.
It's called the NFL. Oh, there we go. Talking National Football League. And of course, we're brought to you as always by WynnBet. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBet. Hit that bet $100, get $100 free bet. Imagine if you use your $100 free bet on a sweet win, build your own bet. Kenny Gainwell, first touchdown. Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns. Eagles, -6.5. You could have paid off massive. And all you got to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. Get started today. Bet big, win bigger. And as always, offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. Must be 21 or older. President state where play through WynnBet is available. If you're somebody who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, let's get to the recap. Bills 28, Lions 25. I mean, Josh Allen's his elbow. I've never seen anything like this. It reminds me of that kid from Rookie of the Year, where he injures his elbow.
It makes him good though. It makes him good when he gets hurt.
No, but it's weird. Josh Allen can throw the deep ball still. Like anything over 10 yards is good. Anything under 10 yards is horrific. I've never seen anything like this.
Well, my Brian Dable mattered take is starting to look more and more realistic. It's a lot of it's boneheaded plays around the red zone. It's once again a interception in the end zone. Which if this is almost any other quarterback, we're discussing this as a very alarming problem. I'm pissed. I don't know what we were thinking. Well,
you bullied me into taking the Bills, Ryan. I wasn't going to bring it up, but
sorry,
since you're dropping the W bomb, I got to point out. You're like, oh, you went full tough guy on the Bills.
TIIM. Sean, look, this is an important moment where I was ahead of the fucking curve. Josh Allen's back to being Josh Allen. Very exciting. Very exciting. Very just like that very attractive girl who's also batshit crazy. And that's Josh Allen. We're back to that point in our life. If you've never seen we'll have to post it maybe, but the graph of the hot crazy scale, very very good YouTube classic. But look, this was just purely. I'm annoyed with myself, and you know what? I'll hot take here, but Detroit's going to have the most electric offense that's being wasted by Jared Goff ever. Like way more than any of those Rams offenses. I mean, Jameson Williams is about to come back. DJ Chark was out there running routes. Swift is like the third string running back now. I don't understand any of this, but shout out to the Lions for continuing not to win games, and the Bills lucky to get a dub here.
Cowboys 28, Giants 20. Giants get the miraculous backdoor cover. I got my 10-year-old nephew his first betting ticket. Got him Giants +10. He was really excited in the beginning, then got disappointed. Cowboys missed a late field goal to ice the cover, and then Giants pull off the miraculous drive. Danny Dimes in prime time, wheeling and dealing, getting the cover. I mean, they were never in this game really in the second half. So nice cover, Ryan. Congrats.
Yeah. I mean, it turns out the injuries are piling up. It's going to be a problem if we don't have any playable wide receivers or cornerbacks. And when the refs decided to choose violence, and granted they called a lot of fouls on both teams, when they decided to overturn a touchdown for the Giants with one of their practice squad receivers, as I was watching the game delayed by over 2 days in an In-N-Out parking lot, waiting for my delicious ass double animal style, celebrating this touchdown as it gets overturned, I go, oh fuck, god damn it, this. Know exactly how it's. If I could have live bet the game at that moment, I would have laid the points with the Cowboys. No, unfortunately, of course I wouldn't, and nor could I have gotten in a time machine. Otherwise, we would be fucking loaded, Sean.
Well, that's how we got the Kenny Gainwell first touchdown.
That's a skill, but let's just this is the coach speak. We'll just bad matchup against the team that was able to out physical us, and linebacker play has been a problem. Defensive backfield is a problem with the injuries, and Dan Jones, not a good game. Once again, Brian, his 2 worst games against the Cowboys.
Instant reaction. Do the Giants make the playoffs?
Yes. They play the Washington Commanders twice.
No, I mean, I think the Commanders would be favorites right now.
Also, have you looked at the standings in the NFC? It's becoming comical how. I mean, is there another team in wild card? It's Seattle. So I guess there's a concerning tiebreaker there, but there's one team in wild card contention above 500 outside of the division.
Vikings 33, Pats 26. Oh, Patriots really had this game. Refs boned them. I mean, not calling that obvious holding on the kick return for a touchdown. Capper tweeted texted me, Matt Patricia's Matt Patricia more powerful than Kirk Cousins in prime time. I mean, Pat's really had I would say this, like Mac Jones looked really good, and I thought played one of his better games this season. Very weird game to unpack. I mean, that Hunter Henry touchdown that they overturned. So many people hit me up with screenshots of them betting Hunter Henry 2 touchdowns at 65-1. That was just, come on, dude. Like, it's a catch. And even that whole bullshit going to the ground rule, they've adjusted. And I don't know where they were getting that call from. That was insane. That was clearly a catch. So
the consistency in the National Football League at the I mean, the officials have had a tough couple weeks, feels like, or maybe that's just us over here at the refs are terrorist camp, not these.
And use that promo code Cyber if you're listening to this show on Monday. The entire day, 20% off all. We have a bunch of cool holiday shirts, refs are terrorists shirts, college collection, the NFL collection, although not officially NFL licensed, but you can figure it out. There's a ton of sweet gear on there on the store, and all 20% off one day only. Dolphins 30, Texans 15. This was a pretty hilarious game. Like Dolphins just destroyed them, and then Texans like kind of tried to find a backdoor cover with Kyle Allen, but couldn't get it done. Tua took some shots though.
Yeah, it was another game where it was like, man, Mike McDaniel playing with fire, keeping these guys out here, and then Houston makes the late run. all what stood out to me is how we missed this all along. Mike McDaniel is like the low key guy you don't realize is running the cartel. Who's running the cartel? The drip he had walking up and down the sideline in South Florida with the
The
gold
barista.
aviators. No,
He's a shift leader right now.
exactly. They want you to believe he's the barista, but he's running the fucking cartel. All right, he's moving tons of avocado weight in and out of the country, and the way he was rocking those gold aviators and that big ass watch. It just he's one of the stranger characters, and yet his offense continues to work. Everyone's wide fucking open. Nothing matters. Nothing matters.
It totally reminds me of Chip Kelly. You know, you have when Nick Foles threw for 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. This kind of reminds me of that.
All right.
And maybe it's more sustainable. Maybe
you're saying Tua's got a huge dong.
I mean, and maybe Tua ends up becoming a Super Bowl MVP. Stranger things have happened. Bengals 20, Titans 16. Oh, this game was very annoying. I mean, I'm not going to say it was like a bad beat or anything, but the way the game ended, where the Bengals line up for a field goal, they kick the field goal, they make it. Titans have like 2 minutes, plenty of time to go down, get a touchdown, tie things up. And they call that like bullshit, like pushing on the center, and they get in, 15 yards and they just kneel it out. It was just a brutal way for the game to end. And I mean, this is a tough win for the Bengals, like back-to-back road spots. You know, to beat the Titans at home is tough, especially coming off long rest. So kudos to them. And you know, Joe Burrow did enough scrambling around back there. I don't know. They have a fun rivalry now, Bengals Titans. They were like getting chippy after the game.
Oh yeah, fun non-divisional rivalry. And I think, you know, considering how the Rams look, this it looks like they've weathered the hangover, perhaps as we were told preseason by a friend of the program. Blanking on his name, and Justin and sender of the Harambe, which have we debuted that on air yet? We'll have to do that at a special moment for the Bengals, but they're back. I mean, even without Mixon, it didn't matter. P. Ryan, shout out to all wearers of the beard. He wears a nice beard. The chin strap gets nestled in there. There's no method to the madness. And yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase isn't out there. Like they're going to get some reinforcements here. So, you know, I just how the Ravens are above them in the standings is beyond me, because it seems like we're watching two totally different teams. And I guess yeah, they're still ahead because of the tiebreaker. But
Ravens suck. We'll get to that.
Yeah, they're going in way different directions.
Panthers 23, Broncos 10. We don't really have to talk about this game that much, but how do we not lock up anyone who's playing the Broncos right now? It is abysmal. And shout out to, people have sent in the stat that, Russell Wilson has more bathrooms in his house than touchdown passes this season, which is an amazing stat. And it's just so comically ugly. But yeah, not much else to report from this game. Darnold got a win. Didn't think I would see that in 2022.
Darnold, not only did he get a win, but the players were like stoked for him. There could be some low key Carolina makes a late push here. I mean, maybe Darnold is better than Baker Mayfield and PJ Walker. It's not the craziest story, but yeah, I mean, auto fade Russ, auto fade Nathaniel Hackett. Are they going to fire him They hired him this year. Does he make it to the end of the year, Sean?
I saw that if they cut Russell Wilson June 1st, his dead cap hit would be $39 million.
For how many seasons?
If you're the Broncos, don't you just cut him and just have it all go to next season and then start a rookie and hope for the best? Yeah. I mean, this isn't going to get better in like 2 years.
It's one of the stranger things that there's no way I would have seen it coming. There's no way. You might be. So according to this, if he in 2023, his dead cap number is at 124 million this year. It goes down to 107 million next year, 85 the following year. Like,
no. If they cut him June 1st, they said it's a cap hit of 39 million.
I think it's just for that year. I think there's more dead cap in the
Oh, okay.
future.
Oh, total dead cap. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like I think no matter what, they fucked themselves through 2025. I think there's no way around it, even if they cut him, which is, I mean, what do? You trade him away. You package him with like 3 of your first round picks and hope someone is willing to take. Pete Carroll takes him back, just sits him on the bench and has extra picks. Crazy.
Jets 31, Bears 10. This game was bizarre. I mean, Nate Peterman we talked about in the pregame show. Nate Peterman late ad, and my Mike White DFS lineup did pretty well. Had Garrett Wilson. What screwed me was Michael Carter getting hurt, because I also had him in that lineup. We also gave out Elijah Moore on the pregame show, $3,500. He had a nice game there DFS wise. I mean, this Jets team, look out. I do think Mike White isn't as good as this game showed because of how bad the Bears defense was. But if you just give this Jets team competent quarterback play, with how good their defense is, they could be a tough out, man.
It's like you got to play within the system. Even the Green Bay offense looked pretty efficient with a guy playing within the system. Maybe that's all it is. Or we've seen Mike White have some short-term success before. I don't know. I mean, it's a fun story. They certainly have weapons around them. I think just I said when we heard it was Peterman, I was like, "There's no way I can back the Bears if it's Peterman." When it turned out to be Simeon, I thought in the beginning of the game he at least showed the ability to stay within the offense, like make a couple passes, but it turned out he looked like a guy who hurt his oblique in the pregame warmup, and they were terrified to start Nate Peterman, so they put him out there for the Wolves.
The news came out that it was going to be Peterman, and then Simeon actually was the starter. Weird game. Commanders 19. Ryan, your Falcons lost, didn't get the cover. Had a chance there late. Commanders got the stop there, and then got like a running into the punter play to ice it. I mean, this Commanders team with Taylor Heineke. Don't underestimate what benching Carson Wentz can do for your franchise. I mean, serious. Like they're playing pretty good defense, getting enough out of their offense, and again, just kind of competent quarterback play from like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type guy. And
certainly limiting, but at this point they would be the 7 seed, and they kind of feel like a 7 seed. They kind of feel like
they could be. They're going to be a tough. They make the playoffs. They could be a tough matchup in a wild card game. I don't see them making a run, but would you be shocked if the Commanders won a playoff game?
No, but what's great is it's lining up for the Cowboys to have to face a division foe for a third time, potentially in the first round at home. Ugh. I mean, last time that happened, Jerry had tickets for the championship game put on every player's seat before the game, and it worked out poorly.
Browns 23, Bucks 17. Oh man, going out with a giant win in the Jacoby Brissett era. And Njoku had a crazy catch. It was, what was it, on 4th down to get a touchdown, to get it to overtime. They get the win at overtime. I mean, this was just a wild game. It felt like they were pretty out of the game. Buccaneers couldn't finish them off. Bucks go down, are now 5-6. I mean, the NFC South is crazy, Ryan, because the Bucks are 5-6, Falcons 5-7, Panthers 4-8, Saints 4-8. I mean, legitimately, the Saints seem like they've been done for so long, but they're only a game and a half back. This division is crazy.
No, yeah, we're setting up for one of those seasons where so many teams stay alive for so long, just because. I mean, there's a couple division races where I mean, the South is a joke, but the Saints are the Panthers. Like Panthers might win this. Sam Darnold could win this division, Sean. We have to start realizing that we live in a reality where Sam Darnold could win a division. The Saints could win a division. No one's out because this Bucs team doesn't look good. They look broken. Say what you will about witchcraft, but there certainly looks to be something happening with Tom Brady's game that maybe call it supernatural, call it
Hey Ryan, don't steal our buddy what's his name? Oh yeah, Scott Hansen. Sorry. I know he's a household name.
The witching hour, my bad.
Yeah, don't steal his witch related material, Scott Hansen. Checking in with the chat, Richard Gertzberger. How do you keep Carson Wentz out of your parking space? Paint a goal line in front of it. Love it. C Donkey 28 pointing. How did the Browns win with the elf on the field? That's a great question. I still don't understand that, how they pulled off that victory. I think they got a slight karma bump from one last game with Brissett. And Patrick Fisher saying, does Kevin James play Carson Wentz in Wentz's biopic?
That's actually pretty funny.
That was so great.
No, I think it's David.
That's an amazing
Spade.
visual.
David Spade would actually be better. Yeah, I don't. The wife goes, why do they have the Keebler elf on the field? Wasn't even trying to make a joke. Funniest thing I heard all day. Yeah, I mean, again, I just Deshaun Watson's going to play for this team next week, and he's going to look like shit. Jacoby Brissett was out there putting his body on the line.
Well, it's really weird now because they get that win against the Bucks. They're still kind of hanging around in the playoff. They're in the hunt graphic is hilarious. It has like every team. And so at 4-7, you just had this huge win against the Bucks and you're going to bench him. Tons of pressure again, but he does have a soft landing getting to play the Texans as his first game. Although the Texans are going to be massively up for that game.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's going to be cash. I mean, if there's ever going to be a return to Bounty Gate, it's going to be the Houston ownership going into the locker room before the game and just bringing duffel bags of cash. Someone bring me Deshaun Watson's head. Like that's $100,000 for Deshaun Watson.
Jags 28, Ravens 27. Again, Dougie P, big balls. Doug goes for the 2-point conversion, gets it. I mean, I still don't think Trevor Lawrence looks that good. I mean, made some nice throws on that last drive, but I don't know. He had one really bad interception, the fumble. He got strip sacked, didn't see it coming. He hit one of the Ravens safeties like right in the chest for an interception that he dropped. So in my mind, it's kind of fortunate to get the win, but also on the other side, like Lamar does not look special. He just doesn't. Like he just looks like an average quarterback. There's very few plays in that game where I was like, oh man, what a great play by Lamar. He did hit that bomb to Deshaun Jackson, which was pretty sweet, but I don't know. I just don't see much out of Lamar right now.
He misses Hollywood Brown, I think. I mean, the running game hasn't been great. Obviously, I mean, even just the random turnovers. This team still. I mean, the fact that they're able to be in these games with how poorly they're playing. But I'm with you. It's like Trevor Lawrence just has no awareness. That's the thing, and it's going to continue to show up negatively. But it will also, like, he's got the tools. So I don't know. If I'm a Ravens fan, I don't understand how this season is happening. Like the games they've won, the games they've lost. Like this team could be they could be undefeated. They could also have 2 wins. The Ravens seem like another team we're going to get to the playoffs and just be chomping at the bit to fade them.
Raiders 40, Seahawks 34. Gino had a couple one bad pick and then a Kenneth Walker fumble. Derek Carr looked like he was going to get knocked out of the game. He came back. This game was just bonkers. And yeah, I mean, I did not see the Raiders getting up for this game at all. I still don't know how they won. They threw 2 interceptions with Derek Carr. I mean, Josh Jacobs obviously running for 229 yards will do it, but 86 of it was on that last play. I just was surprised at the rushing defense with the Seahawks. Like they really were pretty you were pretty able to take advantage of them. I still think they're a decent team, but this was a bad loss. You gotta get this W.
Mark Davis getting the last laugh. He told you McDaniels, his job's safe next year. They've solved all the problems. Yep.
Chargers 24, Cardinals 24, or sorry, Chargers 25, Cardinals 24. Just great collapse by the Cardinals. Kyler going at it with Cliff saying, schematically they're fucked. This Cardinals had no business losing this game, and rare. I mean, they outcharged the Chargers, which was pretty impressive. Of course, Chargers couldn't just kick the extra point and win in overtime. They had to go for 2 and get the win. That was really annoying. Their offense seems to be a little bit better, but I mean, there was still some, Herbert still isn't super efficient. And like, I don't know, they haven't figured out the run game. 47 attempts, 35 completions. for only 274 yards. Like his yards per attempt are still really bad.
I feel like we were just talking about. I feel like the same team, and it's the Ravens. The Ravens and the Chargers are the same team for different reasons, but it's like they have an elite quarterback. They have all the pieces that you would think you would need for a deep playoff run, and yet continually in high leverage situations, they often shit the bed. In this case, fortunately for them, they were playing Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler, and they, a little bit more fuck up on their end, but. I I want to be I want to bolt up so badly, but we have to start wondering if Justin Herbert maybe is a little overrated.
Yeah, 100%. 49ers 13, Saints 0. Oh man, how did the Saints not cover this game? Alvin Kamara was going into the end zone, ball pops out crazily. I mean, the 49ers offense looked pretty rough. But their defense is, I think it's like what, 5 or 6 games in a row with 0 second half points. So they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs because their offense looked like shit today and they still won by 13. So, yeah, I mean, I think they are going to be a tough team, but their offense still has a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, it seems pretty easy to crown them in that division with the way Seattle is trending, I guess. At least after today, and with the way that they're playing defense. They're going to be tough to. They're probably going to come into the postseason as the best, if not the second best defense to the Philadelphia Eagles or to the Dallas Cowboys. It's still Jimmy G. It's still going to be a Jimmy G hosted game where they're going to be laying some points, probably against an NFC East team. And look, I best case scenario, maybe they're playing the Seahawks and it's a divisional matchup and the Seahawks have closed out the season well and we're betting on that, but I it's still Jimmy G, and I know I had them in this matchup. This was more of a situation. This team's never going to make it's still Shanahan too, Sean. You have to remember your core and how Shanahan is a flat brim wearer and general overrated coach. So we're gonna get value betting against them at some point. It's gonna come. We're gonna cash in.
Chiefs 26, Rams 10. I mean, Rams really should have backdoored this one. I mean, so well, what did we pick the spread at? 15 and a half,
14 and a half.
It made 14 and a half. Yeah. I mean, the highlight of the game was Sean McVay almost getting knocked out by a guy running out onto the field. That was pretty hilarious. Just hit him right. He's putting his helmet on right as Sean McVay's walking into his eye line, and just his shoulder just slams into McVay's. I mean, he couldn't leave for TV fast enough. This Rams team is just completely packed it in.
Haven't seen the Schefter report on any charges being pressed by McVay on the assault.
Assault.
Yeah, I mean this Rams team has to go down as one of the more comical Super Bowl hangover seasons we've ever seen.
Well, it's like one thing not to make the playoffs, but it's another thing to be like completely embarrassed. And that's kind of where we're at with this Rams team. It's bad.
Yeah, it's almost as embarrassing as I don't know if you saw Odell. We didn't discuss it at the top, but I don't know if you saw Odell's statement. If you didn't hear, he was removed from a plane for a quote medical emergency. There were no charges pressed. He claims he just fell asleep and didn't have a seatbelt on, and then the flight attendant chose violence and decided to make the entire plane deplane and call the cops. His lawyer
did he like take a sleeping pill or something for anxiety and was all fucked up, or what do you? I mean, so something weird's here.
Just read, like, being a fan of of Odell for a number of years. If there's one thing he definitely isn't, is some sort of like crazy like person, like the kind of person who has mental issues and might get crazy. So yeah, obviously he ate an edible. He's about to get on a cross country flight. And he passed out. And when that edible hits. And it's time, like,
it hits hard.
So I don't know if I've ever told this show on the air, but I straight up fell asleep at the Las Vegas airport and missed my flight. Like security.
When was this?
This was years ago, many years ago, and it was just one of those moments. Like, I don't, you've done it, I'm sure, but you take the 7 a.m. flight home on Monday morning or Sunday morning, you're partying, you're out all night, you're tired, and I just passed out. So fortunately, was able to take another flight. Didn't have the cops escort me out of the airport, but I would have loved how that we don't have a single cell phone video of this.
Oh,
Makes
I
me
think there
curious.
is.
Oh, because I need to see it. I need to understand why once again we're getting this slanderous reporting out there in the media trying to take down my man Odell. I don't know. He's definitely going to the Cowboys now, though, Sean. That's the actionable betting information here. That was a
Oh yeah.
sign he's going to the Cowboys to ruin their season.
I'm saying Zanny bars.
You
I
think
think he had some Xanax.
for those who've been in LA for a while, shout out to the PJ Butters. The weed edibles were not but allegedly cutting up with Xanax or something like that. They hit extra hard. And yeah, I mean, look, he's you're trying to catch some Z's on a plane. That seatbelt's not going to do a goddamn thing anyway. I mean, what is a seatbelt going to do if plane crashes, Sean? It's for turbulence.
Keep you
no, it's
that,
not. It's to keep you in your seat. That's all it's for.
Eagles 40, Packers 33. Hopefully you had the Eagles and covered the 6.5. I think we had it as a push at -7. Nice win by the Eagles. Kind of a weird game, a little back and forth affair. Eagles, I mean, Jalen Hurts had a great game, rushing, passing, just looked really sharp. The offensive line pushing people around. Defense didn't look amazing, but created some turnovers and got the win. I mean, Aaron Rodgers as a dog in prime time, Ryan, something some teams can't handle, and Eagles got it done.
Jordan Love looked pretty sharp.
Did you hear I think it was Mike Tirico was talking to Chris Collinsworth. He's like, "Hey, you were actually at the game where Brett Favre got knocked out and Aaron Rodgers came in and they were facing a 9-1 team. They're trying to build up Jordan Love, and then there was one play with Jordan Love, sticking his tongue out. It's all right, Eagles were trying to bleed the clock. You were kind of in garbage time. Let's see you go up against a real team where they're game planning. And supposedly, Aaron Rodgers could have went back in and played. Deal with the pain. He's not a guy who's going to take a shot. Ryan doesn't believe in taking shots. But he might be out for the entire season now. They were saying. So that's
again, they suck.
Their season.
They're out of the playoffs. So why would Aaron stick around? It's not.
They should play Jordan Love rest of the season. See what they got.
And yet the Packers still have more wins than the Bears. So the game next week is going to be huge for the rivalry.
Hey, Ryan, we're going to get to our Monday night props, including first touchdowns. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. That's might make you a ton of money. You know what can save you a ton of money? Rocket Money. I mean, think about how much money you're wasting right now on subscriptions. 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about. Could be Amazon Prime, Hulu, YouTube TV. There's so many things you sign up for. You like the free trial, but then you forget about it and it's auto pay. Or there's just maybe you have two accounts. Maybe you and your wife both have Amazon Prime. You never actually figured it out. There's so many ways you can save money just by canceling subscriptions you don't use. You can save $80 a month. Some people have saving up to $200 a month. I ran this. There was a couple. It was like an old Spotify premium thing I didn't ever use. Got rid of that. It's just, again, highly recommend Rocket Money. And again, shows you all your subscriptions in one place. One button to cancel. So easy. All you got to do is go to rocketmoney.com/SGPN. rocketmoney.com/SGPN. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now. rocketmoney.com/SGPN. All right, Ryan, do you want to give out your props first or?
Yeah. First one, kind of have a feeling you're on the same thing. George Pickens over 42.5 receiving yards. No.
Yeah, I was going back and forth, but I'm going to co-sign that one.
He hasn't actually gone over this as much as you would think. But if you look at just the pure matchup they're going against an Indy team that struggles against number ones, and I have to imagine at this point George Pickens is running around as the number one on this team. So 42.5 yards. He went over last week. I think he goes over again this week in a, this offense could look fun on turf, Sean.
Yeah, and again, I thought Kenny Pickett had one of his better games at home against Cincinnati. And yeah, I think there's going to be some good opportunities to pass. So I'll co-sign that.
Well, and so real quick, so much so his interception prop that had been living in the -200s is down to -120, less than the Matt Ryan in this very game.
Crazy. I do like I don't know if I'll make it one of my officials, but definitely Matt Ryan interception. He is due back-to-back games without a pick. Feels like he's due. I'll go to my second prop because I'm co-signing the Pickens prop. Gimme Gunner Olszewski. That's right. 6 feet. The Polak. They got to call him like the Polish missile or something. Give him some sort of cool name. I'm assuming he's Polish. He
is he the sniper from Enemy at the Gates?
Dude, he went to Bemidji State as a cornerback. Have you ever heard of the college Bemidji State? It sounds like something they would make up. They're in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Division II in Bemidji, Minnesota. How did this guy became an NFL player is just amazing.
Well, he went to play for the Patriots. That's how.
Yeah. Again, he got drafted by the Patriots.
Special teamer.
Yeah, special teamer, but he seems to be getting involved in the offense. His targets went from 2 weeks ago, 1 target, 1 catch for 4 yards. Last week, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 39 yards. Really what you want to look at though is snap share. It just keeps jumping up for him. 17% all the way up to 42%. Oh no, sorry, that's special teams. He went from 26 to 42% of offensive snaps. So I think they got him as part of the game plan. And his name's Gunner. Like, of course he's going to be a special teams. He's playing for the Steelers. Like, you could just imagine him eating some pierogies. Like, I don't know. He's just a character. So I got to put this guy in my card.
Career average 14.1 yards per catch, Sean. So
yeah,
he only needs
this guy gets 1 catch. He's good.
All right, let's stay chalky. Pat Friermuth over 43.5 yards. Tremendously bad matchup. I mentioned earlier they struggle against number 1 receivers, where they sit. This fucking screen 27th in DVOA. Well, they're also 27th against the tight end in DVOA, and we've seen the chemistry. The guy who has had the more consistent workload with Kenny Pickett has been Pat Friermuth. You look at the target distribution outside of that Buffalo game, 9, 9, 7, 7, 12. So he's definitely been someone that Kenny Pickett has fancied. And the more that I look at this game, the more that I feel like it's going to sneakily be a little bit of a shootout. I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities here. So 43.5, second over of the night, Sean.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm
going.
Him. I'm the over him.
I'm him. I'm going under.
Give me Jonathan.
No.
I was gonna say we're fighting.
Give me Jonathan Taylor under 86.5 rushing yards. He just, I don't know what it is. He's just having a bad season. Some of it's injuries, some of it's the Colts offensive line, which I think could really struggle against the Steelers front, which obviously is much better when you have TJ Watt. He's only gone over this number twice this entire season. So yeah, give me under 86.5. That feels way too high.
It does seem like they'd have to commit to it. I actually played that a pretty similar way. I said, give me Jonathan Taylor under longest rush, 17.5 yards. It feels like the kind of game they're just gonna, I mean, if I was Mike Tomlin and I was a dog, I'm going to make Matt Ryan beat me. And so give me Jonathan Taylor not to bust one, under 17.5 longest rush.
Yeah. Pittsburgh last 3 games, they're allowing 67.3 rushing yards per game for the season. They're the 7th in the league at 103.4. So pretty decent run defense. And yeah, I just don't see them doing enough to really get there. I mean, he had 22 carries against the Eagles, which has an issue with their run defense, and he only got to 84. So I don't see it. He's kind of an interesting play in the receiving game, but I'm not going to touch that.
Just to add to that, yeah, Pittsburgh top 7 defensive DVOA, and it's certainly been trending up as of late.
All right, time for first touchdowns. Ryan, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Steelers. I'm just gonna tag team the two guys I gave out for all the same reasons. I think there's some matchup advantages there. George Pickens, Pat Friermuth, both are 15-1. Paris Campbell on the other side. He seems to be the guy that they like to run some of the gimmicks to, and certainly in the condensed part of the field, he's shown some chemistry with Ryan. He's 15-1. And my dark horse, give me Zach Moss. I think that it sounds like they brought him in to do some dirty work. Maybe he gets a couple reps around the goal line, and we get lucky here. He's 40-1, and it sounds like he's going to have a role this week. So that one really stood out to me for a guy who legit has been called a goal line back type by the new staff. So I kind of like that one. Zach Moss 40-1. John.
All right. For me, give me Deion Jackson 28-1, backup running back for the Colts. But like I said, something's not clicking with Jonathan Taylor this year. And again, Deion Jackson's kind of interesting. They've been getting him involved in the passing game against the Eagles. He had 4 catches for 4 receptions. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a screen, maybe like a red zone look here. He breaks off a screen pass. I think there's a lot of ways he could get to it. I'm also going to go tight end for the Colts, Jelani Woods. He's been involved again. He seems to be, I mean, it's not like, I don't know, our boy, what's the Mo Alley Cox. It's not like he's as dominant as you would imagine.
It doesn't make sense. Receptions. The guy's a monster. I don't understand how Mo Alley Cox. Mo Alley Cox is on the wrong team. Get Mo Alley Cox on a team that appreciates tight ends.
I mean, his price point doesn't make sense. So I'm taking the higher odds Jelani Woods at and double checked that he's active, but 22-1. So I'm assuming he is. Next up, Kenny Pickett 15-1. I mean, I think, and I'll get to it in my DGens only play, but I think Kenny Pickett could have a nice game running the ball. His rushing prop is set at like 23.5 yards. Like I think he's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Pickett scrambles. And then of course, got to throw Gunnar Olszewski in there at 45-1 because I've been hyping him up, and transitions perfectly into my DGens only bet. Kenny Pickett, 2 touchdowns, and the Steelers to win 80-1. Build your own bet over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. I mean, Kenny Pickett already has a 2 touchdown game, happened a while ago. He's not afraid to get loose, and primetime game, Kenny Pickett, rookie, wanting to show off. I think this is his first Monday night game. Drops back, doesn't see what he likes. He's going to scramble.
I don't hate that, Sean. I don't hate that. All right. So here's what I did. Give me, it just feels like we had similar vibes. But I remembered when we were having those conversations with Mr. Terrell Furman, we were talking about parlaying touchdown scoring props and how much more fun it was to throw the 2+ touchdown prop in there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Pat Friermuth to score 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
We're going to take Kenny Pickett to throw for 245 yards or more. That's it. 40-1.
Wow. What is it? 40-1?
40-1.
How does that not hit, Ryan? That's what I want to know.
Should I throw in more? We should. No,
40-1's good.
It's good enough. All right.
It's almost as good as my Gunnar Olszewski first touchdown.
Consider throwing the Matt Ryan interception in there. But he is due.
All right. Hey, that'll do it for the show. Remember, Cyber Monday, 20% off everything at the SGPN store. We're going to be talking college basketball, maybe get a bonus World Cup podcast, of course, college football, NFL. We're doing it all. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. Toss us a nice, test us a nice rate. If you hit that Kenny Gainwell first touchdown, that always helps grow the old rocket ship to the moon, baby.
Sean, appreciate you naming the promo code after your favorite horse, Cyberknife.
It's a great horse.
I was gonna give I was gonna give it to you, Sean.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Oh boy, once again, back in the Steelers.
Kramer, let it ride.